back once again. It's time for another edition of Inside the Headset. It's Wednesday. We're on the campus of Oakland High School. I've got with me the 8-time state championship coach, 5 here in Region 6A, or in 6A football. Head coach of the Oakland Patriots, head coach Kevin Creasy. How you doing, head coach?
Doing good, Stuart. Good to see you
Gosh,
again.
it's good to see you. It's
Yeah,
good
it's
to
been a
see
while.
you. It has, and I've been over there and I've talked to none but West Tennessee coaches is all I've talked to. I talked to Coach Counts on Monday. I grabbed the Twins yesterday, and now I get to my 4th West Tennessee coach, and not a lot of people know it, and Renshaw makes the 5th. But deep blood's here in Region 3, 6A football, Rutherford County.
Yeah, a lot of good coaches in this region, and like I said, good football played in West Tennessee, and so it's pretty neat to look back and see how there's at least 5 guys with ties to West Tennessee.
Coach Counts, what can you tell us a little bit about him and how you relate, or where you ran into Coach Counts the first time and saw him?
Well, his dad's a legend in West Tennessee and pretty much the whole state, and did a heck of a job of winning state championships for Henry County, and his son followed right in his footsteps, and I know that Rockville is going to be a heck of a lot better, and they're going to be stronger in the weight room, they're going to be disciplined, and they're going to play hard on Friday night. So that's all you can ask for from a coach, and I think he's already got things going in the right direction over there.
Well, and that's a guy that grew up with football. Day one, when he came out, his dad was a coach, and so you get all of that knowledge with head coach James Counts.
Shoot, yeah, living in the same house with one of the best coaches in the state history of Tennessee football, that's got to be an advantage.
Well, Oakland Patriots, new season, new year, new faces. The jerseys, the numbers in the red, white, and blue, and what you do, but new names and new guys running it. I understand you're going to run a little bit of a dual quarterback system this year as you call your offensive sets and start working the 1,500 plays in. What can we expect? You do this 2-quarterback system, and one's a little bit younger, and that's the first time you've done this since you've been here, to start a freshman and let him get some reps.
It's unusual for anybody to start a freshman in any position.
Not even Sonny Gray started as a freshman. He's pretty
region,
dang good.
I mean, you might think, we've got a nose guard maybe that can play a little bit, but ultimately we're going to start a freshman, Trent Gibbs at left guard, and then we've got Cam Morton alternating at quarterback. And right now it's still a 2-quarterback system, probably see how it goes for the first few non-region games, and if there's somebody that just separates themselves from the other. Dante Cameron is older, he's a junior, and so he's trying to win the starting spot, and so competition makes the world go round. So it's good to have those two competing, and as long as they're both starters, you never really have to worry about a backup. So they're both really good, they're both knowing the offense as well as anybody, and the big thing is they're competing, and they're competing with each other every day, and they'll compete on Friday.
Well, and Victor Stevenson was that way. He was a utility guy. You could put him in anywhere, and sometimes you may have them both out on the field. We may never know that. You can see both quarterbacks out on the field at the same time. Never know. You've worked many a different magic with different many personnel. But the first game is on the horizon. That's CPA, and what have you traded? What did you get? I mean, you get a little bit of scrimmage video, but how do you prepare, Coach? I mean,
well, we swapped last year's championship game.
Okay.
They had a heck of a run last year.
Heck yeah.
It's hard to go undefeated, and they beat the likes of Montgomery Bell Academy, Brentwood Academy. So they played some big boys last year. Pearl Cone was back and forth. They have a good rivalry with each other, and so getting to watch Pearl Cone on film it shows us a little bit about what we got in a few weeks. I mean, those guys are men. Now they're men.
When they step off the bus, they get the eye test. It's hard to just say, "I'll take that one. I want that one. I want that one."
Well, I'm telling you, they.
And in Trousdale County, if you'd have just had just one of those guys, how much would it have helped you years ago?
I'm telling you, we saw them at 7-on-7 at the Cottonsteel. We played them in the championship at 7-on-7, but ultimately it was one of those deals where their linemen were there doing like a lineman challenge, and I was like, Coach, you gotta make sure they bring their birth certificates. Because they all look about 20-something years old, you know, because they're full-grown men out there with beards and stuff, and so.
Can we have double stripers? Yes, we're going back to double stripers and see who can carry the football and who can't.
They may be linemen, but they may be running back. You just never know. But to CPA's credit, you know, they handled those guys and went, and like I said, went undefeated. It's just so hard. You know, we won state last year, but we didn't go undefeated. It's just hard to do that week in and week out. And, you know, CPA has the longest win streak in the whole state. You know, it's over 30 games. You know, they hadn't lost in a couple of years, so they expect to win, you know, every time they get on the field. And they got a heck of a football team coming back.
And so he just reloads, and once you know the dance and how to get to the top of the hill like Coach Eagle Martin does, he doesn't seem like he cracks under pressure either. I mean, he holds together even when the ship takes on water. The CPA's normally comes on out of it, usually victorious.
Oh, no doubt. I love what they do. You know, he played quarterback in the NFL, but he's not worried about passing stats. He's going to do whatever it takes to win the game. And they've had a lot of success, you know, handing the ball off. And whenever you get that 9th or 10th guy in the box trying to stop their run game, they got a guy that's committed to Alabama that they'll just throw over the top to. So, you know, it's one of those deals where they do what they do, and they do it really well. And on defense, they're just so well coached. I mean, I love watching it. You know, we watch some film with our players, and we're just, you know, especially our two-way guys when they're in there watching film, because I get to rip on them a little bit and like, why aren't you doing that on defense as well as these guys? You know, what do we got to do to get you coached up? And then the next thing you know, their guys are going on offense, and they're playing offense, and they're doing things the right way on offense. So they got a tremendous amount of talent, but there's some special guys that go both ways for them, and that's what we've been showing on film.
So, and those that come out Friday night here at Ray Hughes Stadium, they're going to get to see some very talented people that are probably going to be playing on Saturdays, what you're telling us. And, you know, and what people need to understand there, too, is it's about seeing good coaching and stuff like that. It's the mistake-free, it's the precise turns and all the things and the mechanisms and the tricks, and then you see some guy wide open. That doesn't happen. They created that. They meant to do that.
Yep. And like I said, he's a great, you know, play caller. I mean, he's got an offensive coordinator that does a great job. You know, I'm sure he's in there saying, hey, it's time to throw the bomb. And it seems like every time they call it, it's wide open. And so a lot of credit goes to their philosophy. And then ultimately, like I said, special teams don't get them beat. Defense, I mean, they got about 20 coaches over here, but they do a heck of a job. And they have coached these guys up.
And it's great to get this first game like this because you're ready. I don't know, you know, it used to be the old philosophy back then, I guess, you tried to schedule somebody you thought you could beat that first game, and so you could get your looks in, because usually game 2 or 3, you were more worried about game 2 or 3 as a coach. But coming out of the gate with somebody like that, you've played a Ravenwood in week 1, you've played a lot of teams in week 1 that said, hey, let's throw them out there and see what we got.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those deals where if you have a good quality opponent, it's supposed to make you have a good summer, you know. You're supposed to work toward that first game.
Great philosophy.
We've spent some time on CPA, you know, but ultimately, you know, the CPA game's a nice measuring stick of where we are in comparison to.
But it don't count like these other ones.
The region games are, of course, the most important, and so. Like I said, credit to Coach Martin. Eagle has made a great program, but ultimately he's not scared to play anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he's not one of those guys that's looking for a cupcake week 1. He's got by far the toughest schedule in the state. Nobody compares to his schedule. And like I said, he's always looking for games. They kind of got the same deal as us, always looking for games. They've got a tremendous out-of-state opponent coming in from Ohio. So they're similar to us as far as trying to fill that schedule. But we are so lucky.
They got Moeller coming in? Is that who's coming in?
I think that's right.
Cincinnati Moeller?
I'm not sure. It's one of those powerhouses up there, and I hadn't even really looked at it. But I heard it's one of the best teams in Ohio. So ultimately, we got all of our county schools now in our region.
Thank you for the segue.
We were very lucky to not have to, go too far. So
Yeah.
we're having a game next week in Kentucky against one of the best teams in West Virginia, but we're not having to go to West Virginia.
Right.
We're not having to go to Texas like we did last year. We don't have to go all the way to Jackson, Mississippi or Indianapolis to play. But it's really helped us now that after next week, we stay in Rutherford County the whole rest of the regular season.
That trip, everybody goes different as you go to Winchester, but the easiest one, I go up over the plateau. So when you go to Winchester, so that'll be a good little trip. I'm making that trip up with you. But segueing over to that, the region, man, is it not going to be great? We've always wanted, how many times did you and I, when we first got here, we said, boy, it'd be great if you could play everybody in the county. And, everybody had to go through everybody, and TSSAA gave us our wish.
That's right. It's been a long time. I think years, it's been years. I think my first year we played, first couple of years maybe played Smyrna, had some great games with them, beat them in overtime in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, it was one of those deals where we had a nice little rivalry going, and then they split us up and we went different directions. And Stewart's Creek's making a lot of noise now, and they're in our region. Coach Caldwell's doing a good job over there. Laverne has a new coach, and Coach Johnson's going to get him going right. He's got a good coaching staff together. So ultimately, it's great that we're all playing each other.
Thank you. And the reason why is you do it in Little League, you do it in the other sports, possibly in soccer, other sports as you're growing up. You're going to play a guy from Smyrna. You're going to see one of them if you played enough baseball around here as you're growing up. So it only gets that rivalry and makes for a wonderful game. We'll be able to keep a lot of that money right here in Rutherford County, Coach.
That's good.
Gang, Friday night. Well, you're going to have to get here early, aren't you? Because we got a little construction
We
going.
still have a little construction, but it's not as bad as it was last year. But I'd get here early because there's going to be a
Do we
huge
still
crowd.
have Oakland end zone passes available? Can they call the office and get a
Sold out.
Sold out, not a parking
Sold out.
spot
Not
left.
one left.
Man, that's a great little pass to have. And those that have that,
I have one if anybody wants to buy mine. So I'm going to double the price on it, but I've got one available anybody can have.
there you go. Friday night, CPA Lines, Ingle Martin and his crew will be coming in. Y'all be here early. The festivities will be going. Understand it'll be a long line at the concession stand, but a lot of people will be here. And so that kickoff's at 7 o'clock, and y'all come out and support the Oakland Patriots.